What's up, guys? I'm back again with another weekly market analysis video, and trust me, there are insane opportunities lining up for the upcoming trading week, and you don't want to miss out on that. Okay, so I'll be talking about gold, I'll be talking about Euro USD and GBP USD. Okay, so real quick, before I show you what I will be looking at for the upcoming trading week, if you're not subscribed, please hit the subscribe button, turn on post notifications, leave a like, and also leave a comment in the comment section. Okay, so real quick, let's start with gold. Okay, let's start with gold. All right, so as usual, we're going to start from the higher time frame. Okay, on gold, right? So gold, I think from last 2 weeks, I defined what I was looking at on the higher time frame. I said that gold was bearish, okay, and we had from this high all the way to this low as our daily swing leg. Okay, so daily we are bearish on gold, and on H4 we had this break or structure on H4. This was the H4 break or structure. So let me quickly mark this. All right, so this was our H4 break or structure. Hence, we had this as our level of demand on H4. Okay. Personally, I was looking at price to take out this low like this because price was actually coming from daily equilibrium. So I gave two scenarios that we can either take out this low or we can respect this demand and push up. Okay, so we can see that H1, I marked this high to this low as H1. Price reacted from this H1 supply. We only took out this, H1 low over here, but we still respected that H4 demand. I hope you can see we never broke that H4 demand, so we are still within H4 demand zones, and so we'll be expecting price to push all the way to the upside. Okay, but currently we can see that, as I said, we took out this H1 lows, and now we have broken this H1 high. Okay, we've broken this H1 high like this. So H1 we are bullish, aligning with H4. Okay, and H4 is bullish because the daily needs to make a retracement. Okay, so currently if price decides to make any push to the upside, at least we should come to this highs of H4. Okay, but how are we going to get there? We need to start looking at what the M15 will be doing. Okay, so let me step onto H1 first and let me show you this. Now that we are on H1 and we've seen this H1 break or structure, we can expect price to do something. What can price do? Price can actually come all the way to the downside into this level of H1 demand, and then we push all the way to the upside. Okay, but before price will come all the way down into this H1 demand, we need to see intraday time frames, which is the M15 for me, okay, to switch bearish. Okay, so currently what is M15 saying? To me, we had this break or structure right in here on M15, and so currently this is my swing leg of the intraday time frame that I'm looking at. This means that when the market opens, I'm going to expect price to make a retracement into these levels like this. Then I can push all the way to the upside. Okay, now the fact that I'm looking at price to come into these levels of M15, then I can buy, does not mean that price cannot break it. Mind you, I said that we've broken H1 structure to the upside, and so there is a higher tendency that price can come into H1 levels. Okay, so in as much as I will have this level in here under watch, I'll still be looking at how price will react to this level. If this level holds, gives me a reaction to buy, then I'm going to buy all the way to the upside. However, if price decides to break this last level of M15 demand, then I may look for how price, maybe we can get a retracement into certain levels, pull back down before we buy, or we can get a straight break right into certain levels of H1 demand, and then we can now look for buys. Okay, so these are the three scenarios that I'll be looking at. Let me go over again. First off, when the market opens, I'll be expecting price to come into this level of M15 demand, look for a confirmation to buy. Second, I can also expect price to break this M15, capitalize on the retracements into certain levels, sell back down before I can now buy. Third, we can have a straight break of this last M15 level of demand into certain levels of H1 demand. Then I can look for a confirmation to buy back up. Okay, so that'll be what I'll be looking at on gold. Real quick, let's look at Euro USD, which is my favorite pair. So as usual, we're going to start from the higher time frame. Okay, and Euro USD has been very, very good this week, last week. Okay, for me it has been super great, and I'm expecting something nice for the upcoming trading week as well. Okay, so yeah, I actually defined this higher time frame leg already on Euro USD. I said this was the high which created this low, and so daily we are bearish, just like gold. Okay, so we are bearish on Euro USD as well. Okay, and we saw price reacting from this level of supply of the daily time frame. But the beauty about this is we can refine this block on H4. So when I step onto H4 time frame, this is what you're going to see. H4, if I'm refining this daily block on H4, this is what I'm going to have. I'm going to have this range marked like this as my refined supply zone. Okay, and this is actually my H4 structure. So H4, we broke to the highs over here, and the current break or structure that we have is this. Okay, so it means that H4 is also bullish, okay, against the daily. Okay, daily is bearish, H4 is bullish. Now, personally, from last week, I was looking at price to react from this daily zones all the way to the downside to clear these lows. Okay, because if you can see, we have this forming something like a trend line liquidity. Okay, so I was actually expecting price to clear them. However, in as much as I was expecting price to clear them, I was still aware that the H4 was bullish. Okay, and so we could have a reaction from these zones, and then we can push back up, and I think that is what is actually happening. Okay, so H4, we have broken structure to the upside. Price actually reacted from these imbalances, and I think we have more room to the upside. So on a bigger scale, we can expect price to come into this level of supply, and if this level of supply decides to hold, then we can expect a push back down. Okay, now the reason why I am looking at this push all the way to the upside is this. I'm going to show you in a second, but before I show you, let me define this H4 level of demand. Okay, so this is a first demand zone of H4, a decisional demand. Okay, that is what I call it, a decisional demand. Okay, and like I said, I'm expecting price to come all the way to the upside. Why? If I switch onto the intraday time frames, which is my M15, okay, you're going to realize that this high of H4 is actually in confluence with Asian high, okay, which is liquidity. I have another Asian high right in here which has not been taken. Okay, hence I can expect price to come all the way to the upside. Okay, now in as much as I'm expecting this on a bigger scale, I am also aware that I don't visit H1 normally, but when I see things on H1, I began to look at them. Okay, so in as much as I'm looking at that push to the upside, I'm also aware that I have this wick which created this low, and that is my H1 structure. And if you can see, price is still within that level of H1 structure. If I switch to M15, you realize that we've not breached that high yet. Okay, so now this is what I will be looking at. First, let me define my M15 structures. M15, we had a change of intent. We had a change of intent on M15 right in here. That was last Friday. Okay, so this was a change of intent on M15, just telling me that intraday has switched bullish. Okay, now to me, this is even though it is an H1 supply, to me it's just a reactive supply zone on intraday basis. So I'm just going to mark it as supply and see how price will react. Now, as M15 has switched bullish, my new M15 leg is from this low to this high currently. Okay, so I know that there are people out there who are going to ask me why my M15 is from this low to this high and not from this low to this high, this low to this high. Okay, there is more to that, and just a quick one to say that I'm actually running a private mentorship. Okay, a one-on-one session. I don't want so many people, that is why I don't even announce it. However, I have made available 2 slots, and I want serious people. Okay, just serious people to come together with me, and then I'll teach them how I do all of this stuff, how I take good trades. Then they can also join the team. Okay, so you can send me a private message on Instagram or on Telegram, and this is also to announce that I can see that someone is impersonating me on Telegram. So the best way to even access me is to join my real Telegram group, which is going to be displayed on the left side. The one on the right is the fake person. Okay, don't send him any message, don't send him any money. I don't do any account management and all those stuff. Okay, so yeah, you can send me a message on Instagram or on Telegram, and then we can discuss this private session that I'm holding if you want to join. Okay, so real quick, let's continue now. If this is my low that created my high on M15, it means that I'm gonna have price, you know, coming to this level of demand. That will be what I'll be expecting. So I'll be looking at 3 scenarios here also on Euro USD, and this is what I'm looking at. First off, when the market opens, I can expect price to take out this high. Okay, the reason why I'm expecting it price to take out this high is this high over here actually is last week's high. Okay, so I expect price to take this out, make a retracement into this level of demand, then I can look for reactions to buy to the upside. Okay, that'll be the first scenario. Second scenario is I can expect price to, you know, come down without taking out this high. Okay, then I can look for reactions and then I'll buy to the upside. The next scenario, or the third scenario, is in as much as I'm having this level of demand in here, price can still break this. Okay, then I can look for, let's say, a retracement to certain levels, sell back down before, if any future price development comes up, I can look for buys all the way to the upside. Okay, so that is what I'll be looking at on Euro USD as well. Okay, so real quick, let's look at GBP USD. So as usual, we're going to start from the higher time frame. Okay, so on GBP USD, we are bearish on the daily time frame. Okay, this is what I see this high which made this low. Okay, so we are bearish, and currently we can see that price is reacting from a supply zone of the daily. Okay, what is H4 saying? H4, we are bullish. Okay, this was the H4 break or structure all the way to the upside. Okay, so H4 BOS, and currently we are also reacting from an H4 decisional point of interest, which is right in here. Okay, so we are bullish, and we can expect price to, you know, push all the way to the upside, grab these highs. If price decides to respect this one over here, then we can look for a reaction to sell back down. That is on a bigger scale. Okay, so real quick, now that we've defined the H4 direction, we can look at what the intraday time frames is saying. So real quick, I'm going to step onto H1, and this is what I'm looking at on H1 on GBP USD. So we had this break or structure right in here. Okay, and so it means that this level of supply is solid for me to mark. Okay, just to see how price will react to this level of supply. If this level of supply decides to hold, then we can look for a reaction all the way to the downside. If not, we break. Okay, because even if you look at the supply zone, we can see that we have something like relatively equal highs. Okay, right in here. Okay, so we can expect a break all the way to the upside, but all will depend on what the intraday time frames is saying. So when I step onto, let's say, M30, the reason why I'm looking at M30 is because every pair has its characteristics. I think I've mentioned this before. Okay, so currently I can see this break of structure on M30, which means that we can expect price to come all the way into this level of what demand, and then we push back up. That is M30. Before M30 will make this deeper retracement, we need to see what M15 is doing. So currently, this is my low on M15, which created this high. Okay, so if the market opens, you can expect price to actually come into these levels. If this level decides to hold, then we can look for a reaction all the way to the upside. If not, like I said, if M30 decides to retrace deeper, then we can expect this level to be taken out, maybe straight into this level of demand to buy, or we can even get a little retracement before a push, then we can buy all the way to the upside. Okay, so this is what I'll be looking at on all of these pairs: Euro USD, gold, and GBP USD. Okay, so yeah, I wish you all the best in the upcoming trading week, and I hope you found value in this video as well. If you did, give this video a thumbs up, leave a comment in the comment section. Okay, so see you within the week for another educational video.